India is a developing country. Villages are becoming smaller towns. Smaller towns are becoming cities. And cities, as we all know it, are dense with people and their vehicles. MG thinks they have a solution. And the solution is called the MG Comet. Just like a comet leaves a trail, the MG Comet leaves a trail of anticipation. Let's check it out. Let's start off with the size of this car. It's a small car and you can practically just hug it with your embrace. The MG Comet gets 3 doors and these doors here are freaking large. There's nothing really impressive about the MG Comet, but this design language wherein you get this chrome strip that runs across the body line and connects with both these ORVMs looks really neat. Universal with all EVs is a blue strip that runs across, and what MG has done is neatly designed a daytime running light. One thing that's really cute on the MG Comet is the 145/70 R12 tires. Now these ones also get some aerodynamic wheel cases on them, and these entire thing about from wheel cases to just about everything about the car is customizable. The car plays a great illusion on you because it may look small, but from the inside it does have a lot of space. And increasing that amount of space is this huge window pane that you see here. Now this is not operable, this is just a glass pane, but it adds a lot of room to the entire cabin. What's also interesting is the Comet badge that you find here and the whole LED DRL that's at its rear, which complements the entire look from the front and from the rear itself. All of this again right here is EV batching. You get some internet insight. Obviously it's a walking, talking cyber cafe. And talking about the boot space, well, let's just say it has none. These large doors allow for an amazing ingress and egress angle for the MG Comet. It's very easy to sit inside. Also, when you sit in here, you're seated in a very uplifted position, thereby the view of the road. In fact, even if a mid-size SUV comes in front of you, it would not be obstructing the view of the road ahead. You'd be getting a nice view. These large windows, these large windshields, all of it really help. Also, this large A-pillar is complemented with a small window in here, which makes it really nice to maneuver and see through that large A-pillar that we have here. What's really interesting is the steering wheel of this particular car. Now you can adjust it according to your preference. And there's 2 large digital screens right up here. There's this floating sort of a display. Now this one is the one that can be interactive. On the other hand, this one here is interactive through the buttons on the steering wheel itself. Now, the media controls are given on your right. There's also a mic control with voice commands. There are over 100 commands that MG allows you to sort of just interact with the car without even touching any button. Also, this entire display here is very crisp. It gives you ample amount of information. Everything is very crisp and nicely laid out. The whole 3D emblem of the car, the way the doors open, the lights are on, the indication, everything is beautifully and crisply laid out in front of you. MG has included this very intuitive widescreen display right up here. Now what you can do is you can also customize these widgets according to your liking. You can also add widgets if you wish. There's tons of other things that are included in this particular display. What you also have here is settings for your vehicle, settings for your sound, just about every other thing. This follow me functionality. There's also driving assistance, as you can see right up here. There's steering wheel. Every functionality that you wish can all be done through this little screen. Now, the amount of functionality that MG has put in here is maybe inaccessible and something that all customers might not use, but it is feature loaded. What you can also see is, as they mentioned internet inside, there's a 4G SIM built inside this particular car, which will give it OTA updates and further improve the car in the longer run. As you can see, if you press the home button, you go to the home. There's also wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. There's tons of other customizations as well. There's theme stores wherein you can download themes and then customize the way you wish your particular instrument cluster to look like. As you can see right up here, If there's something, you can just click on download and the 4G SIM will allow you to download all of it. Once you do that, you can just click on download success, my themes, and let's say we apply this one. Change, okay. You go to home, everything changes and it's personalized as per your particular liking. Now, what you get here is a very minimalistic styling. What they have done is cleverly, they've integrated everything into this space where there's no glove box, but there's ample amount of storage space right up here. The cup holders have shifted on the end corners of this dashboard. Now, what you get here is AC vents, 2 AC vents right up here, AC controls right down here, HVAC controls, all of them are in these rotary functions. They're good quality. They feel nice to touch, although they are glossy plastic, but they are of good quality. What's really interesting is this button, which says E and S. Obviously, it means it is the modes that you have to sort of select. Now, on a single tap, it will shuffle between Eco, Normal and Sport mode on the MID. But press and hold it for a second or two and you can shuffle between the various recuperation options that MG Comet allows. Now it has modes like light, normal and heavy to choose from. Despite the large doors, the window commands have been given right here on the center console. There's a very good feeling handbrake lever which feels absolutely amazing to touch. Built on the GSEV platform, this allows you ample amount of space in the Comet. What you also get is this very intuitive drive selector. What you can select here is reverse, there's charge, there's also the drive selector right here, and it's very well finished in this very intuitive design along with a very neat graphic right around it. The 2 last seats up front are very comfortable for long distances. In fact, they have ample amount of cushioning on every side of the seat. These are long seats with integrated headrests, but even for long distances, maybe till you deplete your battery, you will be comfortable in these seats. Despite the size of this car, the doors on these are huge. Allows you 3 different compartments of storage. There's speaker right up here, there's also a tweeter right up here, there's still some storage up here, and everything is soft touch fabric. This material too has a matte finish to it. Now, the way to get inside is just press and hold this lever and slide the seat right up here. Both these functions is available on this seat and that seat as well. You go inside. Seated on the back seat of the MG Comet, what is really surprising is the amount of space that you have here. It's pretty comfortable, although you're sitting much upright. The under thigh support is more or less lacking, but the kind of car that this is, it is surprising to know that you can still have some amount of knee room and good amount of headroom as well. What also aids a sense of space is the whole interior color. It's light grayish in color. There's also dual tones, and this huge window pane that you see here. Now it's inoperable, but it allows so much light to come in that it feels roomy in here. You get about this much of boot space. Now what MG has done here is cleverly, because the space is so less, they cannot give you a spare wheel. So what they've given is a tire puncture repair kit with every car. This comes in handy not just for the MG Comet, but for any other car that you have in your garage. Apart from it, there's some charging cables. In case you are carrying some luggage, MG Comet has you sorted as well. Now, both these seats get pull mechanism on these levers, allowing you to just fold them and liberate more amount of space for your luggage. MG claims that the MG Comet will do 230 kilometers on a single charge. Now, when we started our drive today early in the morning, we were at 98% and the distance to empty was 196 kilometers. So it totally depends on the way you drive. Speaking about driving, there are 3 drive modes. There's Eco, there's Normal, and then there's Sports. Apart from it all, there's also 3 regenerative modes. They call it Light, Normal, and Heavy. Despite the size and the dimensions of this car, along with the wheel size, This car is surprisingly very comfortable to drive. The ride and comfort inside this car is much bigger than the size of this car. The braking performance coupled with the recuperation modes makes this car really confident inspiring when you want to brake from any speed. Okay, I just threw my phone down there. MG has surprised with the NVH levels in here. I know it's electric and I understand that it will have a synonymous silence like everybody else, but the size of this car, the price bracket of this car, all of it makes it even more impressive when you drive this car. Taking U-turns in this car is a different game altogether. It feels like a go-kart, to be honest. Right, the different modes on this car do change the characteristic of the throttle response. The throttle response is not really the most crisp. In a way, there is a bit of a lag to the amount of power that this thing puts down, but then that's acceptable because it's a small car and producing power in a linear fashion. I mean, there's no jerks per se, not at all. The steering feel on this car is very light and it does not weigh up even in sport mode. It does weigh up a tad bit when you pick up speed, but then again, it's very easy to maneuver this car through small spaces. In fact, it takes getting some used to this kind of size of a car because, to be very honest, it feels like it's smaller than just about everything on the road. The size of this car has to be its USP in a way. The reason why is because this car feels so nimble, it's so maneuverable, it's so easy to park, and you see a gap in traffic and you know your car can go through it. Now that is something that you would miss out on a larger car. Again, do not be fooled by the size of this vehicle. Do not be fooled by that one single motor on this vehicle, because this is quite adequate performance. In fact, I would even go up to say that it is almost equivalent to a 3-cylinder engine that would do duties in such a small hatchback, and that's saying something. I don't know, even 80 feels like 200 in this car. I have no freaking clue why, but it may be just because of the size of this car or something like that, but that's how it feels. Talking about the suspensions of this car, we did encounter a few bad patches in Delhi and deliberately put this car through those patches just to check how exactly does the suspension perform. And surprisingly enough, it does perform really well. Now, it does not make this car, sort of feel unsettled or any of those things. It handles all the undulations with much confidence. And MG has perfectly balanced the kind of chassis and suspension and ride quality of this particular car to suit just about everybody. The illusion that this car is small, and when you sit inside this car and the way this car sort of feels is quite different, You don't feel that this car is that small. You do feel that it's small, but it doesn't feel that small, at least from behind the steering wheel. We drove the MG Comet for over 150 kilometers today, and from what we understand, MG has played an elusive game with us. The car looks compact, feels compact, is zippy enough in traffic, and also maneuvers very amazingly, nimble enough through every road. But when you sit inside, it's spacious for 4, but there's no, and I repeat it, there's no room for luggage at all. In fact, there's no room for a spare wheel as well. They give you a tire puncture repair kit in there. Now, from what we understand of the entire MG Comet package, this one will be priced competitively under rupees 10 lakhs and also will have tons of customizations. In fact, MG is offering 10 different themes for customizing your MG Comet according to your own style. What do you feel about the MG Comet? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, like this for this, isn't it? And share this video with everybody who's interested in a small, compact electric vehicle. For everything else, stay tuned to Top Gear India.